One thing I had to learn was you cannot heal where you became sick. You cannot grow in old environments that already showed you that the soil was contaminated, that the tree was rotten at the roots. A lot of times we try to heal in the same places that caused us pain, simply because we don't want to get out of our comfort zone, simply because we want to take folks with us that do not have a seat at our table. And if we stay in those environments and invite those people to be at our table, they're going to knock that shit over. Remember, Judas sat at the same table as Jesus. So Judas knew how to get Jesus caught up in what he wanted to do, all for 30 pieces of silver. If you got a Judas at your table, you are more likely to be eating or drinking poison just because they're Judas. Judas ain't gonna be nothing else but Judas. See, you can take that tree out of that soil, right? And start chopping at the roots of it so you can get to the root of your issues when it comes to your trauma and healing. But if you try to plant a new seed in contaminated soil, or good seed where you know someone's going to throw weeds in your garden, then the only thing that's going to happen is the same thing that happened before, and it's going to piss you off even more because you knew better, you knew who was doing it, you knew why they were doing it, and you knew that you needed to pick up and go. Is it easy? Absolutely not. Comfort is comfort. Codependency is codependency. Habits are habits. Addictions are addictions. Not having enough resources means that you have to sacrifice, go without, or be in a situation that may be definitely not comfortable. But staying in those environments that made you sick are only going to serve to do so again, if not make you sicker, if not take you out of this world before you fulfill your purpose. The Most High does not intend for you to suffer forever. The Most High's plans for you is to be abundant in this life. It said, bringing heaven on earth. You are not supposed to be on this earth always miserable, always depressed, always crying, settling for the bullshit, allowing people to play in your face, working for 40 to 60 years, dying without enjoying life itself, and being a prisoner and slave to material things that you can't take with you when you go. You will know a tree by the fruit it bears, and if it bears rotten fruit, it's a rotten tree. Cut it off. The soil that tree was planted in is contaminated. It cannot produce good fruit. It cannot produce good trees, good plants. You gotta change the soil. A lot of times, you gotta just change the environment in itself. You can be in the hood and be happy, in the suburbs and be miserable, because you are planting seeds, or your seeds were planted amongst weeds, amongst what they call that chaff. Okay, amongst that isn't, that only position is to choke out the good that comes from you. Happiness is an inside thing, but it also deals with the environment that you're in. If the environment is sick, it's going to make you sick. If the environment is crazy and chaotic, it's going to try to make you join in on it, or it's going to project that chaos on you. If you can't get no peace where you lay your head, it is time to move out of that environment. Start making plans to get on, because it's not going to change. It's not going to get better. People who are miserable love company, and they hate happiness because they are not happy. They don't want to be happy. They don't know how to achieve happiness. They've always been around chaos. That's what they're attracted to, or that's what they were born to be in this lifetime, and they're not going to be anything different unless they make it up in their minds and in their hearts and in their spirits that they're going to change. And a lot of people don't change. It's very difficult once you have built in your spirit, in your mind, in your heart, who you're going to be and how you want this world to look at you, and what kind of respect you want, the people you date, the whole kit and caboodle, the whole shebang, 9 yards, whatever you want to call it. A lot of people do not want to change. They are stuck in their ways. They don't mind growing amongst the weeds and the chaff. They don't mind keeping that same rotten ass fruity tree, because that's who they are in their minds, what they know, and what they're comfortable in doing and being. The Most High always gives you the information that you need and the resources that you need. But it's up to us to heed the call. It is up to us to take ourselves out of situations that we know we need to. Because a lot of the times we sitting up here waiting on God, but God is waiting on us. A lot of times God is speaking to us. We have shown you what you needed to see about these people, places, and things, these habits that you built, the trauma that you went through, where it came from, how to cut it, even though it's painful, even though it takes some time. And we so worried about the results and the how it's going to come that we don't move out of the way of God to bless us the way God wants to. Because we're too busy trying to have control over how it's going to come, when it's going to come, and how much of it's going to come. And a lot of times we're putting limitations on ourselves when there's so much better and bigger that we are supposed to receive, and the overflow of the blessings to come. That we either delay our blessings or miss our blessings, because, or get our blessings and lose it by putting the wrong people at the table that God told you don't deserve to eat with you. And I'm telling you what I know, because I have been there. I have done that. I'm not talking about shit I don't know about. I have been to plenty of opportunities where I kept putting my seed in contaminated soil and kept getting jacked up in the process. My fruit was growing rotten. My irrigation wasn't good. My line of sight, sunlight was not clear. I was growing in a shady area. And all these are metaphors, but what I'm trying to tell you is that I could not be who I was meant to be because of it. So in the end, when you are blessed to start over, as uncomfortable as it is, everything has to be fresh. Everything has to be new. And everything has to be different than what it was before, because we've already been there, done that. So if we know this way doesn't work, it's time to try a different way. It's your girl.